Hello everybody, I'm Storm here, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, the modern-day Italian campaign featuring the Millennium Dawn mod. In the last episode, we continued our work on building things up. We are primarily just kind of working through our focus trees to get our civilian industry built up. We're starting to work on trying to get some military industry built up, and we're beginning to work towards restoring the monarchy on our way towards restoring the Roman Empire. So, that is what we are going to do. Now, we are at August 30th, 2001, and some things are about to go down if this game still follows the historical events, which I'm pretty sure it will. And then we'll see how things shake out. So, let's just go ahead and pause it. And military still needs a lot of work. We are at least building most basic things we need. I'm actually gonna cycle these down a bit, make sure that the carrier has more priority for resources. We got a new division. Some mountain infantry. What I'm thinking we're gonna probably do is divert over, once we're done this, over here for military focus and army focus to start getting some army XP, because I need to make some adjustments. I need Marines. I think I'm going to need Marines. There they are, the September 11th attacks. The news reporters from the United States have brought to our attention the World Trade Center in New York City was attacked by Islamist terrorists belonging to the Al-Qaeda network. 19 hijackers hijacked and captured 4 different planes in the morning of September 11th at 8:46 a.m. American Airlines Flight 11 flew to the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City at 9:03 a.m. United Airlines Flight 175 followed suit, crashing into the Southern Tower. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and finally at 10:03 a.m., the passengers of United Airlines Flight 93 tried to recapture the plane from the hijackers, causing it to crash on a field in Pennsylvania. Its intended target was likely another important spot in the capital. Alright, and we'll see what that causes to happen. Because that did not produce any world tension. And we'll see if the United States declares war in Afghanistan. But we had a bit of a surprise with the election last episode. We have Al Gore as President of the United States, not George W. Bush, so who knows what's going to happen now. In the meantime, we'll just keep doing our work. Alright, we got our transport ships. And do we actually have... I don't think there is like a distinct Marines. Well, this is all 2002 stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. There's this weird discrepancy over here in some of these, on some of these research panels, which is why it says that the improved artillery is ahead of time. So maybe some of this is... I don't really know. Do we want to try to get improved ships? Better planes? You get improved fighters. That might be a good idea. Alright, military buildup in Sicily is done. So we should have another military factory. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take this military focus. So what I would like is a war somewhere that I can send some volunteers to. So I can start getting some army experience. Because, I mean, we are part of NATO. I think that if the United States actually declares war, that our whole faction will go in. Insufficient resources. We need some aluminum. I guess we'll get some aluminum. Bahrain, Iceland, South America, Mozambique. I'd like to get it closer to home if at all possible, but it doesn't look like there really is any. I mean, there's Turkey. Yeah, we could get some aluminum from Turkey. We might need to start shifting some of our trade away from NATO countries as we get more and more militarized and start getting closer to breaking away. Because I was looking at this, because I think someone had a question about it in the comments, about if we could, like, not align towards Russia, but in order to go towards monarchy, we need to abandon the West, so we need to choose this one. Which will cause us to leave NATO. Then we have options of drawing towards closer to Russia and befriending Russia, or befriending China, Japan, and India. Actually, that might be the way we go. Because while I wouldn't necessarily want to befriend China as a communist state, but Italy, or Japan and India might not be a bad idea. We're not going to be joining any factions with the Chinese, that's for sure. Alright, so now we are producing our attack planes. I think these are also used for like close air support, but apparently they're also carrier aircraft. We are actually building those. The other thing that we need to look at as far as the military focuses goes, so there's another decision coming up here about major monarchist rally. Republicanism is weak. We need to fortify our country with a strong monarch and restriction of democracy to the local level. The people are not smart enough to decide what is right. The monarchists of our country had today rallied in one of our cities. Their demand for traditionalism and a strong central leadership seems to be very popular among certain parts of the populace. This movement deserves support. The monarchy's influence will increase by 1. I guess we will support it. Military excesses. One of our military districts has brought a most shameful display of military insubordinance and lacking discipline. The officers let their soldiers drink, visit prostitutes, and vandalize civilian shops. This is a national disgrace that is even gaining international attention. What should we do? Purge them? Not an issue. It'll cost us 5,000 manpower. Purge them. We're not having a manpower problem right now. I could use the political power. I'm surprised that nothing has happened yet. Develop rural America. Does that, like, unlock... I don't know anything about the American focus tree. Global War on Terror. Ah, so yeah, they can take this, but it's a focus they would have to work on. So they gotta finish whatever they're doing here first before they can take that. Now, military focus is done. I'm gonna be taking army focus. Now I could, you know, exercise my armies, but the problem is that I have so little equipment and so little production that even doing that will cause problems. And I could do it here because I do have enough infantry equipment, I think. But definitely do not want to do it with my mechanized and motorized, or my tanks, because I'm barely making any tanks. Formation flying. Yeah, 2002 is when we start getting access to new tiers of things. What are you short on? Oh, mechanized. MBTs. The euro. On January 1st, 2002, several great European currencies came to an end when they were all replaced by a common continental supercurrency, simply called the euro. The new European Union currency is already viewed as the second most important currency, only beaten by the US dollar. Plans for a common European currency have been around since the foundation of the European Union in 1992. The project comes to fruition 10 years later, the creation of the euro. Guided by the European Central Bank in Frankfurt, Germany. Giving up national authority over our currency might have downsides, but the economic benefits of trading with our neighbors and partners might just outweigh them. British, Danish, and Swedish delegations have already voiced concerns and demanded a possibility of an opt-out for their respective countries, which is why they refused to participate in the initial digital introduction of the euro in 1999. What should be our policy? We gain 10% additional factory output for a loss of 0.1 political power. Or we opt out and lose 50 political power. Now we're barely making any political power anyway. I'll opt out. I'll take the hit. I think over the long run, it'll be better. Alright, we're 2002. So, let's get modern industrial robots for additional factory output and 5% additional maximum factories per state. Gen 3 night vision. Let's go for the 0.99 years ahead of time. So neither of these date lists are actually correct. Okay, so that needs to get fixed in the mod. Let's grab the Destroyer 3s. One assigned. Throw you in there. Okay, so we're still growing positive in our artillery. Illegal immigration crisis. There's been an increase of illegal immigration from Northern Africa in the last years. While it offers us more workforce and therefore population, our country Just suffering from the stagnant birth rate, it also worries a part of our population who thinks that we shouldn't save them from the seas, but instead we should send them back to the country of their origin. Adds national spirit. Okay. It doesn't look like we can make any decisions about that at the moment. Well, since North Africa is going to be part of our empire anyway, I'm not that worried about it. They're merely future citizens. Why are we... Yeah, we really need another factory in MBTs. The 2002 Salt Lake Olympics. I'm not going to probably read through all that. Alright. This doesn't really affect anything. Army focus is done. Small arms program. Can we abandon the rest? No, because we don't have 10% world tension yet. So we'll continue to work on the industry. Now we have 15 army experience. Can I do anything with that? So let's see. Field hospital, support artillery, and support anti-tank. If I wanted to duplicate this and make this a marine division. We're no longer getting the effects from drift towards authoritarianism. And I wanted to switch these to Marines. It looks like it's going to cost us 20 to do that. Okay. Now, if I just created a new one... I could start setting one up. No, it would be better to do it by duplicating an existing one. New planes. So just wait till we hit 20. Which we're a lot closer now than we were. Grab this. Modern heavy equipment. We have a new motorized infantry division. Two years to go on our missile cruiser construction. What I think I'll do is this. I'll make a priority of putting another factory on tanks rather than getting bombers. Civilian buildup is done. Britain goes with Europe. The Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland had today made an official statement in the name of the government that the European Union and by extension NATO would take preference over the Commonwealth of Nations in British foreign policy. Okay. Now, enforce cultural union in Sardinia. I'm not sure that really does anything for us. Don't think we're going to take any of the continuous focuses. Start building up the southern infrastructure. Let's see what the U.S. is doing. Northern Project. Oh, they took the global war on terror. They have not taken the Patriot Act yet. And so they haven't made a decision as to what to do about Afghanistan. Alright, got our industrial robots. Let's go for our decryption and encryption. The fleet is starting to build up. It's mostly subs, frigates, and some corvettes and destroyers, but...
Comandi. Sì, signore.
So right now we're just waiting for world tension. 2002 FIFA World Cup. Okay. This is another flavor event. How are we looking here? Destroyer 3s. Okay, Destroyer 3s are done. So I think we'll probably just go ahead and swap out. Just 5. I mean, fine. Carrier nuclear reactors. Carrier max range plus 60%. Submarine nuclear reactors. Start working on some of the naval doctrines. The doctrines are actually really, really important. So even if you have better tech, if you're behind on your doctrines, you'll have a lot of trouble. So I think we'll just continue to pound away on these for a while. So that infrastructure is built up. I don't think we really need to request licensed production of anything. I guess we already got decent tanks. Improve this port. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. So go ahead. Keep an eye on the U.S. What is the U.S. doing? Almost done this. And we'll see what they choose afterwards. Oil drilling in North Dakota. Okay. Production of 60 oil in North Dakota. They will get around to it eventually. Alright, decryption algorithm. Go to the encryption algorithm.
Pronto
We
all'azione.
have all the tanks. Or do we have all the tanks here? No, we do not. With 18 army experience. Alright, we improved the port. We have some free dockyards, which we're going to put on the carrier and the missile carrier. Funds of the industry. Improve the Trieste port. Okay, so we need to get both those ports improved, which will work on that. We're short on oil. I think we're actually going to resolve that issue because we're going to have the oil fields in Sicily and the oil fields in Basilicata? Something like that. There's a decision that has to be made, but I think, I was looking at this and I don't think these are all that important. Yeah, getting the oil is going to be more useful to us in the long run.
Pronto.
Alright, September 2002. Modern heavy equipment. Planes. Gen 4 attack aircraft. I think we're going to continue work on our land doctrines.
Attento.
Can I say put you guys along the Swiss border? You no longer get the effects from British special treatment. Okay. Alright, we can modify the government. Dissolve our faction, apply to the EU. We're not going to be doing either one of those things. I can switch to limited conscription. I don't think we really need to worry about that yet. We can't make any changes because we're not monarchist yet. They were at 44% support. Alright, what do we want to... Do we want to add a minister? Political advisors. Political power gain, consumer goods. Justify war goal time plus 40%. Improve relations, political power gain, national unity. Political power gain, ideology, drift defense. Civilian and military factory conversion. National unity, infrastructure, political moderator, factory output plus 10%. That'd be very nice. Consumer goods factory is 4%. Is that plus 4%? Minus 4%? Plus 4%? Let's take this guy, the financial veteran. Additional political power and reduce the amount of consumer goods factories that are required. They're still working on that drilling in North Dakota. Russia is encouraging birth rates, apparently. Oh, encryption algorithm. So this is call out to speed as far as we can go. So is this. Gen 4 bombers. We can start improving our support units. I think what we're going to do is start just improving our infantry in general. Improve their uniforms. Okay, so we are up to 16 factories. We need to start working on production of military factories. National focus completed. Britain supports NATO. The British government has sent a military delegation to our Ministry of Defense. Their reaffirmed support for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization will only help us. We have plus 10% political power and some additional army experience, and that gets us over 20. So I want to have you guys build some military factories, and we're going to improve the Trieste port. There we go. And let's go ahead and do we want to use? I think for now we're just going to use the paratrooper brigade as a base to duplicate to make our Marine division. Save it. And let's start making them. We don't need to do 2 at a time. Let's put our Marines in Naples. All right.
Ordini.
Anti-tank is at 0. Because now we know suddenly we need more anti-tank for Marines. We'll have to see about that. Oh, and I just noticed that we are a bit long here. So we're going to go ahead and end the episode. And we're going to see what continues to happen. We're going to continue working on what we can as we proceed forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.